Alright, man, what I want to talk about today, I can't even really tell you what I want to talk about today. It's just a little this and that, I guess. I'll tell you what, there's one thing that I've been wanting to get into, and really I've been wanting to avoid it, because I don't like bringing up personal stuff, but, there's so much going on in my life right now, and it's gotten so gross that it's really just, it's worth mentioning just on the offside chance it may be a case in point on some level. And so, I need to, I'll just probably touch on it. I mean, here's the deal, man. I got people all around me fucking me over. You know what I mean? And, regardless, I mean, it's been a nightmare. And, I'm working for my dad and making not a lot of money, maybe $3,000 a month, And, I'm 29, and I've been doing this since I was 21. And I was in college, doing good in college. I just set the curve on one of my exams in business, and got involved in my dad's business, and really never looked back, and really didn't make it in college. I wasn't doing that good in all my classes, but business I was doing good. Well, the state's got a mandate that you take what they want you to take, science and math, whatever, irregardless of whether or not the college would even recommend that you would even take these classes or not. Sorry, this is uncomfortable for me. It's always causing clothing problems. Anyways, malfunctions here. Anyways, what was I saying? I was in college, you know what I mean? Oh yeah, what the state mandates. Sorry, it's been really hot up here. And anyways, the state mandates that you take these classes or whatever, in school, and to be honest with you, it's just not that necessary. And I don't know, man. I mean, that's enough right there. You could just go off into a whole conversation about nothing but that alone, just on the basis of the fact that and I'm trying to stick to something here, but whatever. I mean, this isn't. It's just a bureaucratic nightmare, and so I'm just not even going to go into that. But irregardless, I think I probably would have passed some classes and done good in some other classes. I got involved in my dad's business. I got involved in my business. I started a business, and I saw that. I hate to say this off the bat. Let me just go into what happened. So I started my own business, took out some loans, ended up, I'm not going to go into all that, but needless to say, here recently, I've gotten to a position in life where somebody could say, well, you depend on that business, you depend on your dad, because, he needed your involvement, and even though, you kind of dropped out of college, possibly as a result, I mean, who knows, and, it's been a nightmare, and people have been screwing me out of this money, and they've been doing, and it's the same people who always constantly try to screw me over, and one of them is my dad's attorney, who is also, and it's like the more money that my dad's business we can get it making, the more the type of people you would expect to show up You know what I mean? That could be real problems. And, oh man. I mean, not just as a threat to me, like they're going to take my piece of the pie or something. I'm talking about threats like they start trying to see people as threats within the company. You know what I mean? Like I'm my dad's biological son. You know, I just have a small penance. You know, unlike his adopted son, who's a partner. And I hate to bring up the fact that he's adopted, but he's really his second cousin's son. My dad married his own cousin, and then now he's a partner in this business, and I'm a legitimate son, and I'm not. But either way, you know, yeah, I'm sorry. It's just, you got these people who come in and systematically see him as a threat, see me as a threat, and automatically are going around taking these polls, right? And the first poll he gets says that Darren needs to go. Or, shouldn't say his name, maybe I'll bleep that out or something. So that he's got to go. Well, let me see how far I am. And then I just bring up in casual conversation, you know, especially later on down the road. I mean, I go through a lot of crap, man. And this is the problem with even trying to get into this. You know, it becomes, I've tried to think it out, like how I would bring this up, and it just gets worse and worse. You know what I mean? And it's a pure. I mean, the reason I even bring it up is because it's got to be some kind of a reflection of society. You know, granted, I lost everything, really, essentially. I saw this coming when I was 21 years old, pretty intuitive kid, you know, and took out loans and got my own business going, and, you know, I basically had high aspirations, whatever, but, it's just, you know, outside of losing all that, so anyway, it's almost too much to even talk about. Oh. So I mean, I was gonna make a success anyway, you know, and lost all that to mass murder and enslavement. Do you see what I'm saying? This is gonna be an awkward video. If you're interested in it, you can stick with it. You can find out what I'm trying to say. But I'm not gonna just stop and try over again because I think that this is just difficult to even get through it. I gotta be kind of comfortable and let myself feel comfortable. I'm not comfortable. But either way, you know, it's hot up here. The guy who my mom's husband he's like, he turned it's hot outside every day, and he turned the heat on and raised it up to 80 degrees. I'm gonna get to him though. But so, and here is my family paying him $2,000 a month that I was getting, but he's finagled away. Him and Jerry both. Or shit, I shouldn't even be saying his name. Either way, the point is these two individuals. What was that? 3 minutes later. All right, yeah. These two individuals, man, they're sorry. You know what I mean? And they're miserable, and they're sold out. You know what I mean? And they are sold out. I mean, they're sold out to whatever the government says. And I mean, they are the worst people. You know what I mean? I mean, it's like your worst nightmare. You know what I mean? Like when somebody's so freaking miserable. Man, golly, I hate to bring it up, but I mean, it's just like, I don't even know if it has to do with being sold out. Where the connection is there. I'm just trying to make some connections here, but you know, in reality, these people, what I really want to say is they're just sorry. You know, and I mean, have gone out of their way to screw me over. And this dude straight up told me on Thanksgiving last year that he doesn't even like me. I don't even know how I brought it up. I was like doing some fasting and stuff, and I guess I was just intuitive and just could feel things. And I was like, I don't know what. Anyways, the point of the story is I basically sat there and I was like, that's a long story too, but I was basically like, You know, I know you don't like me, you know. And he was like, yeah, but you know, you'd have my back or something like that, or whatever. But he did affirm the fact, you know. And it sucks, man, because I got all these people just like, man, they're collaborating, they're behind my back, they're. It's just hard to explain it. It's like, man, it's just hard to explain it, you know. They think that I'm some kind of threat, and that they want to try to get what I have, and they've seen me a threat so far that they've totally screwed my life, you know, to the point where I have absolutely nothing. I mean, the guy even came and started looking on my girlfriend's Facebook page while I was in jail, and then took it up and shoved it in my face, and it had she had gained like probably about 100 pounds. And the picture wasn't even recent, and she said she was in a relationship with somebody else. Well, our relationship was, I mean, a long-term relationship, you know, but I was frustrated with her taking pills all the time, and her health was not that great, but that's not why I quit caring, you know what I mean? But it was just really stressful for me, okay? And there was some real serious stuff that started going wrong with her health, and like just huge like pieces of skin just impressed in and looked like a scar, like somebody had carved it out or something. It's creepy stuff. And you know, all this started happening around the same time that people start showing up dead, or, you know, because I see some report on $3.5 trillion that went to foreign banks that the Federal Reserve printed up in secret. Turns out that's a huge overthrow. But I never thought that somebody would see somebody who's, you know, beautiful and had been a part of my life for a long time, an actual Hawaiian tropic model, and like spike the water supply or something, or do something to her, you know. I heard, you know, one day I was listening to radio and they said that there's literally thousands of assassins just all over the country, and you don't even know exactly how many assassins there are out there, but they're all over. I mean, I don't know if that's true or not, you know what I mean? I don't even know why I really got into that, but I mean, it just, part of me feels like it deserves to be mentioned, I think. But you know, I just didn't need that, you know what I mean? I didn't need that, and I was in jail, dude, and it's like, this dude was like, it's like he just didn't care, you know? He came in, he was like, I was like, bro, I was like, do you even know what Albert Einstein said about drug prohibition? You know what I mean? Because I had actually wrote that on the wall in my cell. And he was like, yeah, but Tanner, do you want to keep going down this road? And I said, do you know what I just said? I said, this is illegitimate, and I'm enslaved right now. Do you understand that? We have more people in prison than China. And he just kept repeating himself and repeating himself and repeating himself. Do you want to keep going down this road? Do I want to keep going down this road? You know, and so, and it finally got to the point where then he goes into the other room. And granted, my dad was probably pissed at him. I told his wife just a few days before that I wanted to kill her. That's probably why I ended up in jail at the time, and during the time that I did. Because a lot of times when I end up going to jail, especially in Oklahoma, which has the highest per capita prison population in the United States of America, which is the highest overall population in the world, period. Don't even bother talking about per capita. It's like the day I'm leaving Oklahoma, I went to jail for 3 felonies on a 1/4 ounce of marijuana. A quarter. Jesus. I'm sorry, I can't go there. But I can say, that was, like I said, and I had a broken foot too, and I had a half cast. I hadn't gotten a full cast. I was just gonna wear a half cast and go on crutches, and they came and got me, and they took my cast away, took my half cast away, said it was a weapon. It was time to go to court, and then they gave it back to me, and then they said, well, we're gonna let you have this. And then whenever I went back to my cell, they came and got the cast and the crutches. Whatever. It's like, anyways, the point of the story is, or maybe they had already thrown away the cast, maybe it was the crutches, I don't know. But the cast never came back. I never got the cast back. And then, and what was so funny about it is I got a spoon that had been sharpened down into a shank on the handle. So they gave me a shank and took my cast away and said it was a weapon. That's what happened. And my foot is a wreck. And so the reason why I told her what I told her is because she took all her family heirlooms and destroyed them. And we caught her. And do I need to go into that? You know what I mean? Because I freaking will. But it's hard to keep my train of thought once I start going down into all this crap. But either way, let me go into this. So I'm sitting there in the courthouse. And I'm like, dude, and I go, well, how long are they talking? They want to put you in long-term treatment. About 2 weeks before, about a month maybe, I smoked weed with my dad. Yeah. And he has COPD, of all the people in the world to paint the kettle black. I got serious problems. And you know how much marijuana I was smoking a day at the time? A bowl. Literally. Just a bowl. Literally. And it doesn't even matter. But anyways, they send me down to this place, and I get there, and so I tell the guy, I'm like, look, I'll go down there for 3 months. That's how long I got to sit in this jail. I'll just get me out of here and take me down there for 3 months, fine. And he goes talking about, oh, let's see what we want. Comes back, yeah, we'll do it. So I'm like, all right. So they get me down there, and sure enough, it's a 6-month to 2-year program. This is the other prick who was involved in it, is the one who I'm stuck with right now because of these two. And they take me down there, and literally attacks me about my girlfriend and tells me that she's this and that and all. And this is a girl I've been talking to for years now. So not only he comes in the business, oh yeah, I told you all the stuff I told him I did for the business, he actually went around and got a bunch of opinions and got everybody to say I didn't do it. And then addressed me with it. And I'm like, bro, I know what I did. You know what I'm saying? And then I brought up the fact that, hey, you know that I learned in psychology in college that that's a form of psychological abuse to tell somebody they didn't do that they said that they've done, which isn't exactly what the case is, but in relationships there's a form of psychological abuse where, and so, but either way, I told him, and then he comes back and goes, well, I didn't mean it like, so all of a sudden change his story after you've just said what you just said. I mean, it's not like you can even misconceive what you just said. You know what I mean? Oh my God. Oh my God. I gotta take a break. This is unrealistic. I'm gonna get a little hot. Oh. Oh man. And so anyway, so this guy, he's sitting here in the hotel lobby room actually fighting me and literally arguing with me about the nature of my relationship. And I said, yeah, she probably has old, I said that picture of her is real old, and I haven't gone to her Facebook page because I don't even want to know what's on there. You know what I mean? I mean, who knows what she's fictionalized at this point. Our relationship isn't like all that great. I don't have a Facebook page. It's not that, I mean, trust me, okay? I knew that it was going to be something else on her page. Okay, I hate to admit it, but I really knew it was going to be something else. I knew it was probably going to be her and a dude, or like fake pictures, all of it. You know what I mean? I mean, this is a girl who was in Hawaiian Tropics several years in a row, has just suddenly gained 100 pounds. And anyways, and the dude sat there and tried to argue with me until I just told him, dude, listen, you just shut the fuck up right now, or I'm going to fucking punch you in the fucking face. And then he started to apologize. And, you know, it's just like, I know that I call this person regularly. They always answer the phone. We're in contact via email, phone, text message, in person. You know what I mean? I don't need somebody to tell me. Anyways, this is the kind of person he is, you see. And literally going after every single aspect. Oh my fucking God. I guarantee you there's somebody outside my window listening to what I'm saying right now. Because it's single pane windows. They can hear it. They're talking. They're gossiping about it. They're running their mouth about it. They feel like they know something. Feel like they're in something. Feel like they're somebody. All that's going on. All that stupidity. You just gotta call them out. Anyways, it's just the most venomous thing in the world, and it leaves me beside myself. And I mean, just the fact that he had the audacity to even go to her Facebook page at all, you know what I mean, really put me in a place where I was like about to hurt him. You know what I mean? Because why do you even care? It's like, because here's what happened. And here's how I caught my dad's wife. Here's how we caught his wife. Her grandmother contacted my grandmother, who was about the same age, and said, these kids don't appreciate things the way they used to. She destroyed the family pictures. And my grandmother goes, she did what? And automatically drives up there to see if the pictures are there or not. And as soon as she gets up there, they're gone. You know what I mean? This isn't the kind of thing you just keep watch over. And I bring it up with my dad in the pool one evening, and he goes, well, you know what? She did say, look at those pictures. Or what are we going to do with these pictures? They're just going to collect dust. And he goes, no, we don't throw these away, okay? Either way, that's beyond even needing to mention it, that was said. But he, as he's telling me this, she's walking in and out of the house with her arms crossed. And I mean, why did I tell her that I wanted to kill her? Because then my grandmother quilted me, she's since died since all this has started going down. It's come up missing, and supposedly she took it to the Salvation Army while it was I ended up stuck at the Salvation Army because I was in a program called Substance Abuse Felony Punishment Facility, because I was enslaved for mass murder and enslavement and drug money laundering, whatever. And just look at the description. I mean, you know, and the program I went through. And here's the thing, man. I'm not doing this video very well. I need a beer. I got $0. You know, but I'm just about to have my business going again, I think. But I mean, dude, it's just the way these people came after me, man, and it's the way. And then this dude was like, "I want you to go get a psychological exam with this doctor. He's the best." He's like, you know, and this is after they try to send. And then I walk 30 miles after they get me to this rehab. I walk 30 miles on a broken foot, and end up having to take the fucking cast and shuck it and walk on shoes and everything, breaking my feet on a broken foot. For 30 miles. Slept in a ditch that night. And had a rolled up piece of plastic that I got inside of. It was at a construction site, and there was this long plastic roll that was about wide enough for a human to fit inside. I don't know if they ran water through it or what. And crawled inside of it and slept in it that night. And the next day, got up and started walking with my thumb out down the highway trying to get back to Dallas, and instantly come across this office of my dad's. He has an office down there in Austin, and I walk right past it and I see it, and I'm like, well, maybe this dude will, I don't know what I'm thinking, let me use the phone or something. And so no, that's what I did want to use the phone and try to get a hold of my girlfriend. And eventually did, and she answered the phone, and she was like, "No, I'm not coming to get you." And she told me that my dad said that, you know, I wasn't gonna gonna have a future and all this. And he basically, because while I was in jail, I called him and I said, "Get me her phone number," because I'd forgotten it and just had it. And he goes, "No, because I'm not having her get you out." And I said, all right. And he goes, and then finally he gave it back to me. He's like, I'll be glad to give it back to you. And like, he's like, you know, I don't know what he said to her, you know, but that relationship didn't last very much longer after that. And I think that while I was in there, he and Jerry both got a hold of her and said some fucked up shit, you know. And it's just hard to explain. I mean, once I saw her in that picture with another dude, I knew it was only going to be a matter of time before I lost confidence in the fact that our relationship was even going to be able to stay together, and I was going to say something that was implying that I didn't think that she was even going to really be there, and that's all it took. And within like the day after that happened, her phone number changed, and I never have heard from her since. And that's thank you to the fucking piece of shit that works against me, you know what I mean, because of who I am, you know what I mean, has not a fucking thing to do with me, you know what I mean. And cause he's a conniving little prick and a loser and a creep, and he's miserable. I mean he's taking so many serotonin reuptake inhibitors that his personality is basically just gone. Nothing left but a snob and a monotone, little, you know, coward. And it's just pathetic. It's just pathetic. And the cowards, man, they show their colors, man. They really show their colors. And you want to hear them politically, too. I mean, it's like, I was talking to him one time about how the right and left is more or less sow division, reap discord, you know, get people going into parties thinking that they're part of something, you know what I mean? I'm part of something, I'm this, I'm that, instead of just being a human because it makes you feel unique or whatever. You know, that alone, and then sat there and he was like, yeah, I think, you know, I think that everything's funded by the Republican Party. And it's just like, he can't get past it, and like, he feels like he's a part of Obama, he's a part of Holder, he's a part of all this, whatever. I think he's looking at my YouTube videos, I don't care. He's part of the left, part of it. He's a Democrat, you know what I mean? He's not a person, you know. Anyways, but so anyways, so I get down there to and rehab. So I get down there to Dallas, and I get a hold of my dad. He's got my truck, and I said, look, I just want my truck. It's in my name. I want it. He didn't give it back to me, and so I was basically like, short of calling the cops, I was basically, they tried to take me to a mental institution, literally. And I was like, and they were like, and then these are these two pricks, my mom's husband and this guy, both take me to a mental institution and literally sit there and tell me that it's going to be okay, it's not like that, once you get in there the doors aren't really locked from the inside. And I'm sitting here like, I'm on my way in, opening the door, and I'm like, why is there not a door handle on the inside? And they're like, oh, it locks shut from the inside. And I'm like, yeah, you know what? I don't think I'm going to go in here. You know what I'm saying? They're like, oh, we promise it's not like that. I'm like, dude, I just saw this stuff. You know what I'm saying? But that's what it is for, I mean, I don't want to sit here and psychoanalyze them. You just decide for yourself. You know what I mean? But either ways, you know, this is the guy who gets up at AA at 2 o'clock in the morning or 5 o'clock in the morning just to go to a 6 o'clock AA meeting, and then again at 6 o'clock at night twice a day, and barely even drank. Didn't really have a real drinking problem. Anyways, and I was there. I saw how much he drank. You know, same wine bottle will be in the fridge for a week. You know, I mean, I know exactly how much he drank. You know. Anyways, pathetic. Anyways, but he feels good, you know. I mean, it basically goes back to a biblical era of narcissism. You know, you go to the church, you greet each other, but that's going on in the church. You know what I mean? They go to the church, they greet each other at the church, they pray out loud. The Bible says that Jesus Christ, you know, Jesus Christ, red letters of the Bible, says, don't greet each other at the church, don't pray in public. They do it both, in the name of Jesus Christ. And it's all about narcissism. You see what I'm saying? So now, I'm going to cast the first stone on a moral issue because I feel good about myself because I greeted somebody at the church and at the local marketplace at Walmart and had my friends know me down there, you know, in small towns where they got 1 million churches, where they got more people in prison than any place in the world, such as Oklahoma. And the most narcissistic, detached from reality, it's basically reincarnation of everything the Bible says don't do, they just do it. And I mean, it's so accurate. I can't just sit here and tell you. I've got to do a video on that alone. And, you know, I mean, Jesus Christ was like the libertarian of his day. Let me tell you. Okay, there's no mystery as to what got him killed. Okay, at all. I mean, he literally went in. It'd be like he went in where they changed money changers, where they changed money. They inflated money during the Roman era. Or in the Greek era, they clipped coins. They changed money. That's what he was doing. He was actually went in and beat people up for changing money for inflation, for people to get usurped. That'd be like going into the Federal Reserve with a machine gun, or going into the Federal Reserve with like a stick and just like the Matrix, just beating back bullets and just beating people up. And then you're like, why did the government kill that guy? Anyways, the point of the story is. Point of the story is, I mean, it's been a nightmare. It's been a nightmare. And the people who are like the worst in the world are getting my money right now. You know what I mean? And this dude was like, here recently, I was still getting like $2,200 after tax, probably $3,000 before, I don't know, somewhere in that range of a month. And this dude's like, well, you're just going to warehouse yourself. And I'm like, see, obviously he's going by every day, checking, seeing where my car is. This dude's got a track record of screwing over people that he thinks are a threat to his position in the family business. And our business is worth a lot, maybe 30 million bucks. I don't know. You know, but I've done all the television commercials. I've done all the marketing videos. I've changed the entire frame. I've changed everything. Okay, I'm not even going to tell you all the things I've done. I scouted out the website designer myself. I storyboarded the videos myself. I'm in the credits. I need to show them that. I'm in the credits. You know, I just saw that. It reminded me of that the other day. And I'm sitting here like, dude, you see me as a threat? I'm the only person growing this business. You know what I'm saying? And it's so idiotic. It's like the most base, just spite. You know what I'm saying? Just misery and spite and jealousy and imperious, narcissistic. It's all there. It's all there. Gutter. The bottom of the gutter. That's who these people are. Just the grime, man. Just stools in the bottom of a sewage tank that have been festering for 3 months. That's who I'm talking about here. This is what I'm talking about. You know what I mean? I mean, literally, you don't know nothing. Probably, that's the problem, is that you show up, assume that I'm. That's what this dude told me the other day. Who he negotiated this deal. I came over here to this house because they were about to lose this house, and I was under the impression that a certain amount of my money was going to come here every month. Well, the first thing this dude does is starts calling my dad and tells my dad I'm smoking pot, and it's like I'm drinking beer until I'm about to pass out. Literally watched him look at me while I almost like fell over one day before this ever happened from drinking so much that day. Not that I'm bragging, you know, it's not like the best thing I'm most proud of in my life, but it's the same kind of narcissism you see. It's the same exact people that I was talking about earlier, the biblical age, who called Jesus Christ a drunk. You know what I'm saying? Because it makes them feel good. Makes them feel good about themselves to get up at 6 o'clock in the morning and go stand around a bunch of people and pray out loud. Oh man, I'm part of something. Oh, I'm good. Oh, you know what I'm saying? I mean, get over it, man. It's not there. You know what I'm saying? It's not in that. It's not in sitting around watching propaganda every night and you know, and getting like angry because I do believe in you know what I'm saying, and I sat there and explained to him the whole thing and gave him the evidence that 9/11 is most likely an inside job, exactly what happened in Nazi Germany, exactly what's going on right now, the family members that were in place, the fact that George Bush's grandfather, was laundered money, Nazi funds, and attempted an overthrow of the United States, and it's a congressional record, and I cited the congressional record, Dixie McCormick Committee, and that there's coffins all over the United States over there. And instead of sitting there going, wow, and then gave him a book. Last time I saw it, he had the front page flipped back, and he was using it as a cup holder. And instead of being like, wow, it's like, by the next day was talking about Al-Qaeda. I mean, it didn't ask me nothing, didn't ask me for any information, doesn't want to know. You know what I mean? He wants to believe, man. He wants to believe the lie. And it was like the other night, we were sitting there watching about that new Kevin Costner movie, and I said something about that's all we need is another propaganda movie, or another terrorist propaganda, or terrorist flick. And he was like looking around the room like excited, like he was getting away with something or something like that. I mean, seriously saw it in his eyes, man. I mean, you're talking really weird stuff here, man, where people are like emotionally attached to like getting screwed, man. There's something wrong with that, There's something real wrong with it, and there's something wrong with you, my friend. You know what I mean? And whoever out there is doing that, that you people are the sorriest pieces of shit. Not only that, but like my mom, his wife, doesn't even want to have anything to do with them. This last weekend he wanted to come see her. She said, "Don't come." You know what I mean? That's who. Women aren't attracted to you. Women aren't attracted to you, narcissistic pieces of shit. You know what I'm saying? Women they don't want nothing to do with you sold out pieces of shit. You know what I'm saying? Nobody wants to be a part of that. You're not better than us. You're not better than anybody. You know what I mean? Get it through your freaking head. So this video is about out of time. I mean, this prick has me on eggshells around here. Man, I can't even talk about it. That's the problem. It's like I've been needing to talk about this for so long. This is the most I've been able to even get out of myself, And the kind of shit he pulls. Damn, man. Yeah. I mean, like sitting in this bedroom across the hall with the door open at night so he can listen to me. You know what I mean? While he's and then repeatedly waking him up accidentally. Like I was watching this documentary on North Korea, and I literally accidentally, I don't know how it happened, turned the volume way up high, and when it came on, I must have misestimated, and it was like bam, bam, bam. It was playing North Korean, like the banner song, and he woke up, went to the bathroom. This was the second time this happened that night. Went back to the room and left the door open. And, I mean, literally one day I was sitting out in my car listening to the radio, drinking a beer, and the dude literally opened up his blinds and was staring at me. Literally. And it was like, not just for like, for a second just to see if I was out there. It was like, and then just stood there like that. My God, man. And the dude, like, here's what happened. When I first got here, the guy basically told me, well, they wanted me over here because I was going to warehouse myself, whatever. Finally said, okay. And he was still, and I told him at first, no. And I think it's because I put my foot down. He felt like, I don't know, it wasn't as fun to run over a full-grown man, I guess, on this occasion or whatever. And he was asked, I don't know, maybe this is me misunderstanding something. But he was asking me, I got to get off here within the next 2 minutes. But he was asking me, are you happy over there and stuff like that? And I was like, yeah, for now, because I was happy with just half my money going to these people and trying to help them out, whatever. And honestly, trying to help somebody, Well, this dude, one of the first things he says when I get here is I'm sitting here like, I don't know, I was trying to get him to help me because I was like, man, I'm having a hard time asking my dad to help me out with my business, but he's offered to, but I can't take him up on it because I have too much pride. And instead of being like trying to help me out, you can just, he was like, oh yeah, you got problems? My parents never did nothing for me. And I was like, dude, man, I mean, and then I tried to, and like he just doesn't give he just doesn't care, you know what I'm saying? It's like, it wasn't about, hey, let me try to help out my stepson. It was like, oh, let me rub something in your face. I really hate you for this. You know what I'm saying? Like, wow. You know what I'm saying? I've known you since I was 11. You know what I mean? And one of the first things I asked dude is, will you always be this nice? And he always thought that was funny. But I really didn't want to end up with a prick for the rest of my life. Anyways. And so, you know, he just feels entitled, you know what I mean, to do whatever he wants to do, take over my funds and all this, and that's basically what happened, you know, and he ended up getting the rest of the money too, and here I am upset about losing more money a month, as much money a month as I used to make in a week before I ended up losing everything to mass murder and enslavement, you know what I mean? When I was 22 years old, 7 years ago, I made more money in a week than I'm upset about losing over a month. It's just the way it happened. And it's probably the money. I mean, I don't like being broke. I've been through so many jobs, and this last 3 months I've been through probably 5 jobs. And the last job I was sold 100% of all leads coming in. And they had to call me at like 10, 11 o'clock at night. And it was like, and then finally they were like, it's our pet peeve when you don't answer your phone, it's 9 o'clock. And I'm like, well, I got pet peeves too. Don't call me at 5 or 11, 5 o'clock in the morning. Anyways, I don't know who this is. I can't see who's got me on eggshells. This is what I'm talking about. Prick has me on eggshells. That's what I'm talking about. And so this really messes me up. You see what I'm saying? And I can't even remember what I was saying now. But I'll get back into it later. Just have it recorded, right? Oh. And so anyway, so I end up, and this is the end of it. I'm not going to talk anymore, but it's just, man, it's been a freaking nightmare. And the first job I ended up losing, I ended up making the same amount of money as on base a month, plus I'm making commissions. And the first thing he does is my mom goes, don't tell your dad. And I go, why? And she goes, you don't need to tell him nothing. And I'm like, you know what, you're right. You know what I'm saying? So I didn't tell him nothing. And I was just going to keep the job and try to get myself going in my life on my own. And see, sure enough, he calls my dad and tells him that I got the job. And then my dad all of a sudden wants to hire me the next day. And he comes to me and goes, oh yeah, I know your dad wanted to hire you over there. I don't know if he found out you had a job or what. Intentionally lying to me. And this isn't the first time this happened. I mean, they sent my mom went down to Mexico, and then he had her lie about some botched surgery on her stomach and said it was ulcers, and then went around perpetuating the lie always. Oh, I don't know what that's about, like awkwardly injecting that in the conversation after I already knew different. And it's like, I wonder what he did to that, you know. I wonder if he like intimidated her or what, you know. And anyways, and so anyway, my dad ends up getting me away from the job, and then offers me a job making $50 a day. And I'm like, man. And so he obviously knew, you know. This is like, it's like people just are against my ass, man. And that's what reminds me of the Bible too. Is like talking about your father's going to be your own enemy, you know. Just enemies everywhere, you know. And it's crazy. It's just, that's why I bring it. It's just crazy. You know. So, anyways, I don't think I can go into this anymore. This is a pretty awkward video, but yeah, maybe help me get some stuff off.